know you wanna be somebody, even if you gotta leave somebody. Yes, I'm hurt, yes, I'm dead. Most things I don't wanna say. I won't be around while you change.
Hey you guys, welcome back to Taylor XO, or welcome to Taylor XO if you're a new subscriber. So y'all, just click disclaimer. Y'all, this is like my third time redoing this video because I thought the whole time it wasn't recording, and in fact it was recording, and in fact I was just saying a bunch of blabber and it wasn't even getting, or it just got deleted for nothing. So I literally just did it for nothing. So if I'm all over the place, y'all, please excuse me. I don't know what happened, but anyways, y'all, so let's get into this video because as you guys know, Liv announced a few days back that she is in fact pregnant. And as y'all know, Jazzy loves, making it known that she wants this baby, that she's going to be pregnant soon, that she's trying to lose this weight for this baby. And I know a lot of people were thinking like, she has to be so mad over there because y'all always know that Jazzy always wants to be pregnant. So we all knew that Jazzy was going to have to throw her 2 cents in, and that she was going to have to try to portray this, oh, I'm pregnant, try to pull this I'm pregnant card, when we know, sis, your man is not over there screwing nothing, not even a nail in that house. So please, please, please stop trying to come on here and try to trick the people into like, you're pregnant now, because Liv came up and said that she's pregnant. So Jazzy did this live about a day or two ago, and it was the 21st. As usual, she gets paid from YouTube, and she decided to take the kids out to McDonald's. And, people were thinking like, she rarely ever takes these kids out to eat. And the one time that she does, she takes them to McDonald's. And it's just pretty sad how she does these kids. Like, Legend always gets the Popeyes, the Starbucks, the Chick-fil-A, the Taco Bell, all these different things, even going out to actual restaurants. And the Davis Four always get, the basic McDonald's thrown at them, and that's it. And I know a lot of people were saying, that'll be the last time she ever takes them out for the rest of the month until probably the next 21st, and she'll take them to McDonald's again. So people were also talking about how she took them to McDonald's because Amaya had a field day the day that she went live when she was at McDonald's a day or two ago. And for Amaya's field day, Hannah showed up instead of Jazzy. So, people were suspecting like she obviously took the kids to McDonald's because she felt bad she didn't show up for their field day. Yet again, another school event that Hannah is showing up at and Jazzy's not. And I know a lot of people kind of don't follow certain people on Instagram like Hannah and Phillip, and they kind of don't put 2 and 2 together and kind of don't get into it like that. And a lot of people think that the reactors just pick on Jazzy, but they kind of fail to realize like what really goes on. And when you really do put the timeline of things together on this girl and how she does her kids and how she continues to have another woman step in to raise her kids instead of herself, you kind of just look at it like, okay, well, now I know why reactors and people are on this girl the way she does, because this girl is able-bodied, sitting at home on her butt all day, waiting and begging a man to come home just to even look at her. But she has 4 other kids that are out in school, having these school events, field trips, and things like that. And she seems to not even really care. As long as she can have somebody else pull up for her, that's all she wants. She doesn't care, anything to go or anything about it. She just wants to sit home with Legend, which, I'm sure the kids will, in the long run, if they're not already seeing now what this girl does. That's neither here nor there. I just kind of wanted to give a little backstory on possibly why she decided to take these kids to McDonald's, because Jazzy, if she doesn't have to do for these kids, she won't do. Like Christmas time, birthdays, going back to school, things like that, she kind of has to do that, and that's why we do see her do for the kids around those times. But primarily anything extra she does not do, and as she always makes it known, known to say that it's the little things that count for your kids, and it's not always about doing big things, which we know already right there, the standards that she has for her kids. She just wants them to get the bare minimum and be happy for that, because obviously she can't afford the bigger things, and she doesn't really care to show the kids that side of life. So it's either take it or leave it, and that's just the kind of attitude that she has with the kids. So, you know, people were talking about this live that she did because, of course, as always, Jazzy has the kids out dingy and dirty, you know, their hair not done, starving, running around, acting crazy. As usual, that's usually how these kids are going out, because as usual, Jazzy is too lazy to correct these kids and tell these kids, like, you know, when we go in public places, when we eat out, you know, you have table manners, you don't run around acting like the fool, you know, you act as if you're at home, like how your parents expect you to sit at the dinner table and, you know, eat right, don't act crazy, use your fork and spoon, you know, cover your mouth when you chew, you know, don't talk with your mouth full, don't scream at the dinner, you know, those type things that you're taught. It's the same thing when you go out. It's probably even more of an expectation when you go out. And therefore, this girl just continues to let her kids run wild. There's no, you know, sit down, stop screaming, use your napkin, chew with your mouth full. You know, as usual, we never hear any of those things. But let's get into this clip, because people were talking about how she allowed the kids to go into this McDonald's playground, and the kids had no shoes. She was allowing them to go to the bathroom, and it's just like, sis, you're a mother of 5, you're 30 plus. Where is the common sense that when you take a kid to those type playgrounds, especially when you have kids that are, you know, highly prone to being sick, and, you know, highly just always sick, and highly just prone to germs and things like that, you would think that you would take more action to make sure that the kids aren't bringing home germs. Your house is already full enough of germs, and we know that these kids are constantly sick. So I don't think it would make sense to bring kids into a playground, McDonald's playground, and have their shoes off. They're touching everything. And then at that, she asked Kaylin, you know, she couldn't get her big butt up. She had to ask Kaylin to take one of the twins to the bathroom, and she didn't even ask them to put on some shoes, nothing, just lets these kids run straight to the bathroom. So let's get into this clip, and then we'll talk about it.
Baby not a baby no more. He's still the baby. Kaylin, what are y'all? Who's gonna go with her to the restroom? Legend, come. Kaylin, you go with her. You know where it's at, right? Okay.
No, but you know
So I know some people would say, oh, you're reaching, you know, how do you know you couldn't see their feet? But she clearly just had the kids run straight from the play area right to the bathroom that was in the play area. And she didn't even look twice, or think twice to tell them kids to put something on their feet. Do you know how dirty a public restroom is? At that, a McDonald's restroom, going in there with bare feet on already. And I'm sure, you know, the kids aren't using toilet covers. Obviously, Kaylin's the one taking them. So, you know, it's like, this girl couldn't even get off live for 2 seconds just to take her child to the bathroom. And I know people will say, oh, well, Kaylin's old enough, but it's just the principle, because this girl already gets it past enough with Hannah constantly taking her kids every other day, all week, every other week. And then now you got her bossing around Kaylin every 2 seconds to handle all the kids. Like, sis, you're a mother. You barely ever have your kids. You should have more than enough energy at this point now to be dealing with your kids and being able to get up off live and take them to the bathroom. It's not like you were talking about anything important anyway. So people were also getting into a part of the live talking about how Kaylin asked her where she is from. And it's just like, sis, your 11-year-old daughter at this point is asking you where she's from. Let's just get into this clip, and then we will talk about it.
What's your glasses?
I left them at the house. I'm from Alabama.
Girl, you're not from Alabama. Yeah,
Where are we from?
They are having water day, so it's like, I'm not even gonna deal with it.
Where are we from?
Texas.
That all?
We Texas made.
So real quick, y'all, before I even go into it, because while I was posting this clip into this video and rewatching it, I heard Jazzy say the kids were at water day today, so that's why the kids' hair were messed up. If you guys just watched the clip, you heard her say that. Now, sis, were you too scared and you felt too pathetic to say that the kids had field day and you missed it? Because, you know, most kids, if they remember going back, their parents always showed up for field day. I remember my mom being at least one of the field days. It's like, sis, you really just try to sit there and justify that and said that it was water day so you could feel like, you know, more of a parent than just to say that it was a field day and say that you missed it. But it made you feel better to say that it was just a water day and try to make it seem like it was just some regular old day at the school, but it was actually a field day, and them kids wanted you to show up for their field day to watch them, you know, do all their things and participate just like Hannah did. But those aren't her kids, those are your kids. So I just had to mention that because that was just super crazy. But I put that clip in here specifically to say that Kaylin is 11 years old. She is going into middle school at this point next year, and she still does not know what state she's from. Now, sis, instead of you always trying to pawn them kids off to Philip, and, you know, while he's at work and he's really not watching the kids anyway, Hannah is, you could be keeping those kids home and maybe going over states with Kaylin and going over cities and, you know, teaching her background, where she, like, not where she comes from as in state-wise, but, you know, where she comes from as far as race-wise, or, you know, teaching her things that, you know, she clearly doesn't know about herself. Sis, you should feel completely embarrassed. And you can tell that she felt some type way about Kaylin asking that, but she kind of played it off as she always does when she feels like, okay, my kids are making me look like a fool. She tries to play it off to make herself look good. But we all know that, sis, that is highly alarming that your 11-year-old daughter does not know what state she's from. Now, people may say, oh, maybe she was talking about race-wise, but they were clearly right beforehand talking about she said that Jazzy was from Ohio and she was from Alabama, and then she went and proceeded to ask Jazzy where she's from, meaning what state is she from. Like, sis, it's so pathetic, and you continue to come on here more worried about a man rather than teaching your kids the basics, like what state they're from, what's their name, what's their address, what's their phone number, what's their mom's name, what's their dad's name, things like that. So moving forward on with this live, because y'all, I kind of took the most important things that, you know, I heard in the live and that people were talking about, and I just kind of am speaking on them. Y'all know how I typically do my videos, but I don't want to make it too long. But I also wanted to bring up something that happened towards the live, because the live was only 30 minutes long. And people were talking about how Aiden wanted his burger taken back, or he had said that he didn't want his burger because they ended up putting pickles, and I guess there was no mayo on the burger like he usually likes. And I guess Jazzy proceeded to get mad and frustrated, and I'll add this clip in and then we will talk about it.
I don't know. Okay, don't tell him that. Just take off the pickle. Jeez. Thank you. Thank you, y'all. Uh-oh, your nose running. Hold on. You said what, Kelly?
So all I'm really going to say about this is, y'all know, if it was Legend, if Legend had his burger messed up and he wasn't able to eat it, you know, a lot of people were discussing the fact that Aiden does have some sensory issues, so it might have been a thing where he doesn't like pickles on his sandwich for some type reason of a sensory issue or the texture in his mouth. And as a mother, especially when you do have kids with autism, you know, it's really important to kind of learn those things, you know, the things such as like if they don't like certain things. And we know usually that Jazzy is the type to where, especially with the Davis 4, you know, she doesn't want to be bothered with it. If it's too much for her, she just doesn't want to go out of her way. And like people were saying in the chats when people were bringing up the fact that she should have went back, we saw that Kaylin was the one who went back to the counter and fix Aiden's burger for him. But it's just the simple fact that you should have went to the counter knowing that you do have a child that likes their food made a certain type way, and you should have made sure that Aiden got what he wanted. It's just like all she was worried about was getting Legends nuggets out and making sure he was getting fed, while the other four seemed to have been trying to figure it out, get all their food prepped and ready. And all I seen her doing was sitting on her butt and prepping Legends food, and that was all that she was really bothered with. And, it's really sad that Aiden, he is a boy and he has to get used to now sharing most of his mother with Legend. I mean, at this point now, Jazzy just seems to have let Aiden it is what it is. She doesn't really care. Legend is her new baby, and that's all she really seems to take pride in taking care of. And, dedicating her kind and cuddle, kissing self to. It's so strange how she can turn the switch on and off. Like, when she's with the Davis four, you could just see the hatred written all over her face for them when she just looks at them. And when it's like she looks at Legend, it's like she just has this love in her face. And, it's so weird how she is with Legend and how she can turn it on and off. And it's unfortunate for the Davis four, but it's just usually how it turns out with some mothers. They play the role favoritism card hardcore with some children, specifically one, and forgets the others. And like I always say in the videos, specifically because she's in this I don't know, back and forth, I guess you can call it, with Chris. She seems to want to show Legend more. But let's get into this last part of the live, because as the live was closing out, people were also talking about how Legend was taking Ava's food, and she didn't even really seem to be too fazed by it. She didn't say anything to Legend, and we all know that Legend is super greedy anyways, and he was sitting right on top of Ava. So I know that Aiden also takes Ava's food, so maybe that's something that Legend is learning from Aiden. But let's get into this clip and then we'll finish out the video.
I wanted this.
Why would I just keep buying me my stuff, Mommy?
I really wanted to go to Pie Pie. Okay? No.
So my bad, y'all, for the horrible quality of the video. She was, I guess, in a bad area with her phone service, so the video got real fuzzy. But all in all, what I was trying to basically explain in this clip, because I know people will say, oh, you're picking. Y'all always want to come on my comments and always say that I'm picking with Jazzy. And y'all, I point out these things and I say these things because, I could imagine if she's just so comfortably doing this on live and in her vlogs. I could imagine when the camera's off how she decides to treat Legend versus the other four. And, you would think as a mother, especially being that Legend is getting older, discipline him, tell him that that's his sister's food. He's not allowed to have that. Tap his hand. I mean, I know he's only one, but I'm obviously not saying smack the hell out of him, but at least smack his hand so he understands that he's not supposed to take people's food. And I just get this vibe that she just lets this boy hit, spit, and scream at these kids. And, she doesn't even want the kids to say anything back to him, and she doesn't let the kids say anything to him. So it's just like, sis, you know what? If you want to let that boy get out of control, just like you let that bum of a father of his get out of control in your house, then that's on you. But as he gets older, and especially being that he has 3 sisters, you should want him to, understand that he's not supposed to hit girls, take people's food. And it's really not even a boy and girl thing, but I'm saying that there is other things that will lead to him doing other things. And he's already seeming to hit the kids, like she had mentioned a few minutes before, saying that Legend had hit one of the kids, and then he was taking food. And she still, even after Ava said it to her, she seemed like she didn't want to say anything to Legend. So, all in all, this video was just to kind of highlight all the things that this girl just seems to continuously do and continuously get on here and get mad at people for judging her for, like the favoritism that she shows, the unkeptness that she shows of these kids, the way that she doesn't give them any knowledge, and they come on here just asking her the most out of the world things that typical kids should just know. And again, Jazzy sees no wrong in it, and again, she will continue to come on here and exploit all this mess for coin, because she obviously doesn't want to go get that 9-to-5 or put that BS college degree to use. Who knows? I mean, y'all comment down below, was I reaching? I don't think I was, because I know a lot of people were talking about this live and, how she was acting with the kids, and just overall how annoyed, and just she didn't want to be bothered with nothing but Legend. And just the fact that she's also trying to throw out all these pregnancy hints when we know, sis, you are over there not pregnant. And I don't think a swimmer will be swimming to that womb anytime soon, especially if you're staying with that bum over there. Sis, really get it together. I mean, you're over there trying to hide this bum, and people are coming out left and right talking about this bum, and you still are coming on here just protecting this man. And sis, by the way, where's that Mother's Day vlog? You're posting all these other vlogs, but where's that Mother's Day vlog? Where's that Mother's Day vlog when you said that Chris was staying home on Monday from work and y'all were celebrating it then? Where's that at too, sis? Because I know you pop in and out on the channel. I know all that. But sis, get it together, because until you get it together, it's always going to be a topic any and everywhere, okay? But y'all, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you guys comment down below you guys' thoughts and opinions. I love hearing them. Thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned for another one.
Tell me what you see in me. Gotta be something different.